Hey everybody, welcome to Home with the Halsteads. Today I'm going to make a big pot of homemade vegetable soup. I'm going to put just what ingredients I have in my pantry and in my refrigerator, and I'm going to use ground beef as my base, but I'm going to add another meat that's going to surprise you, and it's going to take it over the top. So let's get started. We are ready to start making our homemade vegetable soup. I have all of my ingredients prepped and ready. And so now I'm going to start by talking to you about the meat that I'm going to be using. I purchased fresh hamburger meat at the grocery store yesterday, and it was on sale at Publix. 90-10. That's 90% lean, 10% fat. And they had a sign that said buy more, save more. And a pound was $7.99. And if you bought the larger package, it was $5.99. So I saved $2 a pound. So I bought 3 pounds, and I'm just using a pound of it this morning to start our vegetable soup with. So I'm just placing this in my stock pot here, in my big boiler, and we're going to brown our meat. Now, I want to show you something that my sweet husband suggested that I add to our vegetable soup. And I made some, and it is just wonderful. It just kicks it up a notch, gives it more flavor. I'm using a half a pound of ground sausage. This is Tennessee Pride. You can use Jimmy Dean. You can use any kind that you want to. But I left it in this little plastic wrap because I like to show you. Most of you have seen me do this, but those of you who haven't, it's a really good tip. When you want to take your sausage out of a plastic wrap, when it comes in a roll like this, just cut it in half and then take your fingers here at the end where it's twisted together and just start twisting it like that. And y'all, this just comes right out, and it is so clean and it's so easy. And there you have it. It just comes right out. That left a little bit in there, but I'm just going to take my fingers and just get that right out. And look, how easy is that? So that's just a little tip. I'm going to turn this up a little bit so that our hot plate here will start heating. And now I'm just going to break this sausage up. You'll notice that I have on gloves this morning. Anytime that I work with meats like this, to make it easier, I just put on some gloves. And all of you asked me, so many of you asked me, where do you buy those gloves? Well, I get them at Walmart in the pharmacy department. And I do try to keep them underneath my sink. And guess what? Doug has started using them too. It's amazing. When he's frying fish out in the backyard or on the patio, he likes to put on gloves. And then you can just slip them off like that. And there you have it. So now I'm going to use this little browning fork that I have. I've had it for years and years and years. A dear friend gave it to me. And some of you have asked, where do you get it? Well, I looked on Amazon and I found this little browning fork. Of course, this is one I've had forever, but if you want to order one, you can just look that up on Amazon. And let me just state that I'm not advertising for any of these products. It's just things that I've had through the years that I've collected and that I use, and the ingredients that I use and the foods that I cook, I try to buy them on sale. So I'm not bound to any particular brand. If it's on sale and I know that it's a good product, then I'll buy it. And we have to do that because everything is still so very, very expensive. And we just have to be mindful of our money. So I'm going to brown our meat. If I have excess fat, then I'll go ahead and drain that off. And when it gets browned, I'll come back and we'll add our other ingredients and continue making our delicious homemade vegetable soup. Our meat is brown, hamburger meat and sausage meat is brown, and it has a little bit of water and grease in it, but I'm going to leave that for flavor. It's not a lot, so I'm just going to leave it. You could drain it if you wanted to. So now let's start adding our other ingredients. I'm using tomato sauce. This is a 29-ounce can of tomato sauce, and I'm just going to pour that in just like that. And I'm going to be using some chicken broth. So I'm going to go ahead and rinse out my can with a little bit of this chicken broth. This is a 32-ounce carton of chicken broth. But because I want to get all of this tomato sauce out of this can, I'm just going to go ahead and add a little bit of that right now. So I'm going to stir this around just like that. This is going to be so, so good. I say that all the time. Some of my friends laugh at me in my Sunday school class. They say, I like to hear you say that's going to be so, so good. Oh, goodness. So now I'm going to add a 14.5-ounce can of petite tomatoes. You can tell this has a tomato base, and that we do love at our home. So now I'm just stirring that around. And I've got my heat on. I'm going to turn it up a little bit. I'm not adding salt. You could add pepper if you wanted to, but these canned goods have a lot of sodium in it, so I'm not adding salt. That can be added at the table. Now I'm going to add a 12-ounce bag of frozen vegetables. This has corn, it has peas, it has carrots in it. You could pick up any kind of vegetables that you wanted to go in your vegetable soup. So now we're just stirring this around. My mouth is watering now. I do love to keep this in the freezer. A cup of soup with a small salad makes a nice lunch for me and Doug. And then we might have a cookie for dessert. So now I'm going to add a little bit more chicken broth. I used probably half of that 32-ounce carton. So maybe about 16 ounces. You could add more if you wanted to, less if you wanted to. It depends on if you like your soup thick or if you like it thin. So that's all there is to it, dear friends. All you have to do now is just let it simmer. I'm going to let this come to a boil. I'll turn it down. I'll cover it with a lid, and I'm just going to let it simmer for probably maybe even an hour. Even though all of the ingredients are done, I want all of the flavors to blend together. So when it simmers, I'll be back. Okay, our vegetable soup is ready. It looks delicious, and we're just going to dip this up some. Just got a cup right here. I'm just going to pour that in there like that, and look at that. Can't you taste it now? I wish you were here to eat some with me. Okay, friends, we've got our homemade vegetable soup made, and now I have to clean up the kitchen. Thank you for joining me today. I love you, and I will see you again really, really soon.